Well, this isn't quite the way I wanted to celebrate episode 50 of It's Coming Home. Because of the lack of FA Cup run this year in the financial position of the club, we've had to sell one of our homegrown heroes. Hello and welcome to part 50 of It's Coming Home. I'm Kev, and coming up on today's episode we have two games in the league. We're away against Grimsby and also away against Boreham Wood. There you go, two away games. Two difficult away games actually. Although Grimsby, maybe not so hard. But Boreham Wood right up there challenging for promotion, which we are not. Because our run of form has just been uneventful again. We had 4 games without a win. 4 games with only 1 point, which caused us serious issues. We have turned it around a little bit, winning our last couple of league games and finding a way past Braintree in the FA Trophy. But quite frankly, I'd rather get the FA Trophy out of the way and focus on the league a little bit more, because the fact we've had to sell a player, and we'll show you who we've sold in a second, but the fact we've had to sell a player is troublesome, because it's going to be that much harder to get promoted without our star players. But for as long as we're down in the conference, paying part-time wages, it's going to be difficult to keep hold of them. These are players who deserve to be playing in the league. We have got a bunch of games in hand, so it's not quite as bad as it looks. If we win our games in hand, we'll be back up in the playoffs. But we do need to try and find a way out of this league this season, and it's looking like it's going to be a bit of a tall order. And the first casualty has been Lerick Fernandez. And he's gone to Barnsley. We've got £100,000 of cash in now, which was just enough to bring us back into the black again. Shows how bad the financial situation's getting. But importantly, unlike with the he's available for loan. Do you reckon we could bring him back? I mean, that's the perfect scenario. It's Namandi Ibrahim all over again. Those of you who watched Back in the Borough last year, imagine. He's earning 1.3 grand a week. That's mad. But we've sold him for £100,000, but we actually have clauses on this one. I don't know how you see them. How do you see the clauses? Hold on, we'll go on here. Clauses. Lerick Fernandez, we've got 50% of of the profit from his next transfer. So if he does go on to become a Dean Morris and get sold for £13 million, Enoknu, who is set for life, plus we've got a friendly arranged for next summer. So we're going to bring in a little bit more than 100 grand for him, but he wanted to go. We turned down an offer of £12,000 from them, and he got in a grumpy that I didn't sell him. I set his asking price at £500,000. They came in and offered 60,000. I said, look, give me 100 grand and a 50% sell on, thinking they'd just withdraw, and they agreed. So maybe we could have squeezed a little bit more money out of them by negotiating like an adult rather than a petulant toddler. But 100 grand is 100 grand. We needed the money. 50% sell on is massive. And if we get him back on loan, it's the perfect scenario for all concerned. So fingers crossed that loan goes through very quickly and we get Lerick Fernandez back, which would be, that would be the dream ending to this little intro story. Let's play the match and hopefully we'll have him back for the second one. So this is the team for the Grimsby game. We've got Siviter in goal. Back for a Webber, Proctor, Sass Davies and Daly Campbell. Phillips as our holding midfielder. Smith and Wolf in midfield. It would be O'Brien and Wolf, but O'Brien picked up No, he didn't get... Did he get... I thought he got sent off in the last game. Well, I'm confused. I'm certain he got sent off in his last match. But I guess I must have dreamt it. So O'Brien and Wolf in midfield, Tyler, Powell and Stanley as our front three. Let's get into... I don't understand. I'm sure... it must have been the game before and he must be still out of the team from the game before maybe. And that's what's confused me. I need to stop picking the team the night before. I probably had a very good reason to have Smith in the team rather than O'Brien. But 24 hours later, I ain't got a clue. So we'll go with O'Brien. So we assertively... want to show Grimsby why we're not doing much better than them. That's not the most sensible team talk we've ever done. Grimsby are slightly worse than us, but there's not much in it. Let's show them why. Inspiration. But, an assertive team talk. Can't beat an assertive team talk. Is this one of our games in hand? It's not. So this is a game, just a normal game we'd like to win, but we do need to keep an eye on when those games in hand happen so we make sure we win those too, because I don't like being down in mid-table, especially for a second season in a row. It troubles me greatly. Oh, right. Proctor clears to Tyler and the highlight ends. I could have coughed when the highlight ended rather than coughing mid-clearance. There's no way to edit out a mid-clearance cross. I mean, this is some outstanding use of language. Once again, Kev, well done. This cough medicine really does you good. We don't seem to be creating anything against a team that aren't very good. Again. And again, it comes back to when Mick Powell doesn't play well, we really, really struggle. We need another option as a striker. Let's try being passionate. We tried being assertive and it didn't work. Let's passionately say we want revenge. So Grimsby have already beaten us once this season, presumably, if we're after revenge. So how are they down there and we're up here? I don't understand. Right, we need goals. We need a win. I need to get back to winning ways here. I mean, this isn't how episode 50 was supposed to be, although, to be honest, if you'd have told me during episode 1, or in the comments to episode 1, if you'd have said, Kev, by episode 50, you'll be disappointed that you're just outside the playoffs in the National League, I would have bitten your arm off. I fully expected to have had maybe one promotion by this point. Powell just over from the edge of the area. He's kind of snatched at that chance a little bit. I think he probably had time to take a touch and actually try and apply a proper finish to it. Snatching at chances, not playing very well. It's a problem. His confidence is down again, and we're not going to make it any better because I'm going to take him off and bring on Tilly to play up for it. That's not new. What? We're going to bring Tilly on for Powell. That's what I was trying to do. And we're also going to bring on Charters Thompson on the right wing, who's one of the many right wingers we brought in over the summer. And I'm tempted to do this and just try and do the strikerless exploit and see what happens. Should we do that? Should we see what happens? Let's at least make him a shadow striker. There you go. Let's try and do an exploit tactic. It might work. I just want to confuse Grimsby into letting us have a goal. We don't have a striker on the pitch, so let's play strikerless. I think that's reasonable. The only good striker at the club isn't playing well. I think that gives me a good excuse. We'll bring Hickman on at right back. We've got a lot of good right wingers and a lot of good right backs. I don't know who our first choice in either of those positions are. It would have been nice. I would have sold Connor Stanley ahead of Lerick Fernandez because we have backups for him, but it seems no one's interested in Stanley anymore. Tyler into O'Brien. O'Brien to Phillips. This feels like our goal. Webber, just cross it. There's no one in the middle, but cross it anyway. Plays it back to Tyler. To Tilly, who should have done better there, but Tyler gets the ball back. Wolf now to Tilly. We're keeping possession nicely because we've got so many players playing in midfield. Charters Thompson to Tilly. Out to Hickman. There's no one in the middle, but cross it anyway. Cross comes in. Tilly down, or Tyler even, down to O'Brien. And we've seen O'Brien score them, and it's a little bit disappointing that he didn't score one today. 0-0 away against Grimsby is an awful result. We've played very well, but it comes down again to we've just not had the finishing. Because Mick Powell's in poor form, we only drew. And that makes me sad. Let's be angry. Good bit of anger. And hopefully, I don't know if we'll get Lerick Fernandez back in time for the Boreham Wood game, but let's cross our fingers and hope he comes back as a returning hero after missing one game and scores all the goals for us. Before you all ask, because I know you will, as soon as you saw one of our players who went to a big club agreed to come back on loan, you all went, Anthony Harris? Still no. Still no. Lerick Fernandez is back, everybody, but he's injured. So he can't play for us today. But he is back on loan until the end of the season, which is marvellous news. Let's see if we can immediately extend it. We can't. Brilliant. Although it does seem that when he arrived at Barnsley, their manager clicked the recommend player from former team button on him, because immediately Barnsley came in with an offer for Kieran Charters Thompson, who you saw play in that last game. He's a very good winger. He's as good as Connor Stanley. We've not really given him much of an opportunity yet, but both Barnsley and now Norwich are in with offers for him. We've now offered him a proper deal as well, a full-time or part-time professional proper contract. I suspect he's probably going to leave, but we'll keep an eye on him. He might end up being one that got away if bigger clubs like that are in for him. But he's one of many players who we gambled on in the summer. I've just submitted the team without showing you it. You can see it here. I think it's unchanged. It's unchanged. There we go. So, actually, no, Rossiter. I brought a Rossiter in. I'm thinking more in terms of transfers. We're underdogs. Let's do the FA Cup team talk, 'cause that hasn't failed us recently. What was I saying? Yeah, we brought in a lot of youngsters in the summer on non-contracts and basically challenged them to force their way into the team. And when they do, they'll then get their professional contract, because we couldn't afford to bring in 30 players and give them all a salary. And Charters Thompson hasn't really done that yet. He's not yet in the team. Connor Stanley still starts ahead of him. But clearly, in his 5 appearances, he's done enough to alert championship clubs that he exists. So I think that probably warrants giving him a contract if he'll sign one. That was superb from Powell. Mick Powell and Connor Stanley have just combined brilliantly. Look at the state of this. Look, here you go. It comes back into Powell here. And that is just filthy. And Stanley scores, and we're 1-0 up against promotion challenging Boreham Wood. And that's more like it. Powell was superb, Stanley with a good finish, and now it's O'Brien with a free kick. Oh, where's your VAR? I want my telly, man. I reckon that was over the line, but apparently I don't get a vote. Interesting how us, Chester and Billericay, the 3 pre-season favourites for automatic promotion, are all still glued to each other in this league table. I think the 3 of us together need to have a charge for the top of the league and put the likes of Boreham Wood, Aldershot and Fylde in their place and remind them that we're the pre-season favourites. They need to get out of our position in the league. I think we need to put together a run of some results. Civita collects from the big ball forward though, and hopefully we can build... Oh my word, that was a little bit risky. For a man who's got instructions to roll it out to his centre-backs, not really sure why he felt the need to drop it onto his foot when there's a striker hovering on top of him. There's Powell from the edge of the area and it's just wide. Mick Powell looks more lively today. I'm hoping by taking him off in the last game and then not playing with a striker at all, by sending him the message of, look, Mick, you played so poorly, we decided not to use a striker at all. Hopefully that sent him the message of, you need to sort your life out. Or maybe he's been rooting through my office and has noticed on the fax machine there's another one from Norwich saying, no, you still can't have Anthony Harris. So he knows I'm after him. And sooner or later he is going to come back. Once we're promoted, we're bringing Anthony Harris back. As soon as we can, he's coming back to this club. And Mick Powell needs to watch his back when that time comes, because he's played second fiddle to Anthony Harris for 2 years earlier on in his career. There's no reason why he can't play second fiddle to him again, especially in the form he's been in recently. But hopefully he'll score a goal now to shut me up, put me in my place. But it looks like we're just drifting towards half-time. Oh no, don't score now. I was drifting. I was enjoying drifting. No, yes. This is troublesome. I don't feel confident. Any time we're defending, I worry a little bit at the moment. And our defence has been pretty good. It's not the error. The weak part of our team is absolutely not our defence. It's our attack at the moment. But I do still worry that, especially when we've dominated a game the way we have this one in the first half, but we're only 1-0 up, I just feel like the game wants to punish me. Powell beats 2 men, and I mean, I'm going to say he slotted it into the path of O'Brien brilliantly there. We probably all saw him get slide tackled, but it did take 3 men to get the ball off him, which left a huge amount of space for O'Brien to score into. This is excellent again from Powell. And look at the amount of space that's left for O'Brien, because Boreham Wood have decided they need 3 men on Mick Powell. Perhaps that's why he's gone off the boil. He's been top scorer in this division for 2 years now. Perhaps teams are man-marking him, sticking 2 players on him and just marking him out of the game, and he just needs to smarten up a little bit and learn how to use that to our advantage, which he did just there. Right, let's assertively give them the don't let your performances drop, because this has been excellent against a team who have done much better than us this season. This is exactly the kind of thing we need to be doing on a more regular basis. So, more of the same, please, gentlemen. We've got Tilly and Carter and Charters Thompson sat down there on the bench. I mean, I don't see how we bring either of them on in these circumstances. Maybe Tilly can come on for Tyler, but we don't really have anything other than wingers. We have wingers and fullbacks on the bench. That's what we kind of do these days. I've changed so much since FM19, Kev. I just want wide players out. What, you play in the middle of the pitch? Ugh. What's that? Don't want you on my bench. Well, we have got Proctor on the bench, who's a centre-back. And Humphreys, who probably plays in the middle as well as a goalkeeper. But we wouldn't know, because even though I promised to drop Civita, I didn't. And I've now given him a new contract. He's here for the next 2 years, and he's playing very well again. Can't beat a 5'8" goalkeeper, which, by the way, we had a discussion of how tall Mark Tyler is the other day on a video. If you don't follow me on Twitter, you missed Peterborough United confirming that apparently, according to the man himself, Mark Tyler is 5'11" and 3/4, not the 6 foot that Wikipedia claims he is. I still maintain he's about 5'9", but the club have told me 5'11" and 3/4, which to me is what a 5'9" man who's pretending to be 6 foot would say. Oh, they've caught me out. Let's take a 1/4 inch off. We've just gone 3-0 up against Boreham Wood. Where was this against Grimsby? We were rubbish against Grimsby. We're all playing. Everybody apart from Mick Powell is having a good game against Boreham Wood. But now Jordan Rossiter's got himself sent off. What is this our new thing? We're going to get players sent off now. I'm going to take Powell off. And I'm going to do this. I'm going to go straight back to that again. We'll just do that, I think. Hold on. You can do that. You can do that. There we go. Sending that message again to Mick Powell, even though he's had a good game today. I want to get him on, but there's no one to bring him on for. Unless, can Connor Stanley play in the middle? No. Well, I guess we'll just leave it as... Oh, actually, Sass Davis is tired, so we're in Proctor on for him. Charters Thompson, if he was using today as a day to decide if I'm going to use him properly or not, or whether he wants to move on and sign one of these contracts for championship clubs, this is probably the day he decides to leave. That's a decent finish. And tell me we're not going to let Boreham Wood back into the game. That would trouble me greatly. I don't want to see your silly replay. Suddenly a whole load of performance levels have dropped. I think we're going to bring on Tanner at right back. Just because he's played more games for us than Daly Campbell has. So, experience, they're the same age. I'm pretty sure they're the same age. Wolf now to O'Brien. O'Brien to Stanley. Of course, this whole midfield that we're doing at the moment, the no defensive midfielder but with an attacking midfielder thing, the fact that we've got the players to do this does indicate that we could try the 4-2-3-1 again in some games, because Tilly can apparently play as an attacking midfielder, which I hadn't noticed. When I brought him in, he was brought in as a winger, but the fact that he can play there means we do have this formation on the table again. So it did serve us well down in the Conference North. So we might, if we continue to struggle for goals and to get performances out of Mick Powell, might switch back to the 4-2-3-1. Rossiter's going to be suspended anyway, so we might even do that for the next game. I'll have a ponder. I'll probably forget all about it before I play the next game. But, you know, it's important to have a ponder about these things. But it looks like we have managed to hold on, which is marvellous. I'll make my announcement now while this match is still going on, because I know some of you switch off as soon as full time in the second match of a video, because you can't stand me saying goodbye. It breaks your heart to hear me say goodbye, and I get that. I feel sad too. But I did just want to let you know there's not going to be an episode on Sunday this week. Not for any grand reason other than the fact I just haven't had time to make it. I'm recording this. What time is it? It's about 11:30 on Friday morning. I've got stuff on this weekend. I'm not going to have time to play the in-betweeny bits to get to the point where I can record a video today to come out on Sunday like I normally would. So we're just going to have a week off from having the Sunday home video. We'll be back at 7 o'clock on Monday as normal. It just couldn't be helped this week. It's been one of those weeks. Watch my vlog if you want to know why it's been a busy week. It's just been a busy week. So there will still be a non-League to Legend video tomorrow morning, so that one's already recorded. But home, we won't be out on Sunday. It will be back on Monday at 7 p.m. But let's give our little team talk and just have a look to see who we're going to be playing on Monday at 7 p.m. If we have a look at the schedule, I guess it makes sense to go all the way down and do Salford and Hensford. Play a big chunk of games and try and get this season wrapped up in a couple more episodes. So Salford, Hensford, again, I'll put the proviso on there of unless we have a big run of wins or a big run of defeats and it starts to get interesting. But if we're just going to be a mid-table team, let's focus on the cup run, do Salford, do Hensford, and that will be Monday, not Sunday, Monday. If you have enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos, apart from this Sunday, but, you know, it's not worth unsubscribing over, I don't think. Thank you very much for watching.